I'm Richard Southern in the 680 newsroom. Hope you're having a great weekend. Bit of a topsy-turvy week on stock markets. It started out with investors very worried about the situation in Turkey, the lira currency there plummeting against the U.S. dollar. Towards the end of the week, though, we got news that delegates from China and the United States will actually sit down and talk about the trade situations. So that improved the mood a bit. Big news out of Canada's cannabis sector this past week. Big Alcohol wants to own it, it seems. Constellation Brands, one of the biggest booze producers in the world. They make Corona beer, Robert Mondavi wine, just to name a few brands. They're spending $5 billion now to take a bigger stake of Canopy Growth, Canada's largest marijuana producer. This will be a 38% stake, and they paid a 38% premium on the stock. So beer producers, spirit producers, wine producers, they've seen their market share fall. And in Colorado and California, where marijuana has been legal for a while, that's what's happened. Beer sales down 15% there. So now they're looking to get into that market, come out with non-alcoholic cannabis-infused beer that gives a buzz without a hangover and without any calories. Could open the floodgates to more investment in the Canadian pot space. A further sign that everyone wants in that cannabis sector, Second Cup announced this past week that it's looking to turn at least some of its Ontario coffee locations into cannabis dispensaries. Second Cup earlier in the year teamed up with a cannabis retailer called National Access Cannabis, and now with the Ontario government's decision to allow private retail to sell the drug in Ontario, coffee shop says, listen, we want to leverage our 130 locations across Ontario and maybe turn some of those Second Cups into cannabis dispensaries. Second Cup, of course, has lagged behind its rivals like Tim Hortons and Starbucks and even McDonald's. Well, this is maybe my favorite news of the past week. Wonderland announcing a new coaster, and it's going to be one of the world-renowned coasters when it opens in 2019. It's called the Yukon Striker, and I want you to take a look at this. It's called a dive coaster. Steel, 3,600 feet long. It brings you up, the 24 riders at a time, brings them up 223 feet, dangles you motionless for 3 seconds on the edge of the cliff before you plunge down. And where do you go? Into an underwater tunnel that's been constructed. That's the water, for people familiar with Wonderland, the water where the vortex is, and this thing actually goes through the vortex. Quite something. 130 kilometers per hour, 4 inversions, 360 loop. It's going to be the longest, fastest, tallest dive coaster in the world. Wonderland also announcing plans to open through Christmas for a winter fest. You'll be able to skate on the water in front of the mountain, and as well, there's going to be a hotel constructed within the grounds in 2020. So a lot of news on Wonderland, and keeping an eye on the parent company, Cedar Fair Entertainment. That's stock that's down about 18% this year. Can't get a job? Maybe you want to think about getting a tattoo, believe it or not. There was once a day when you cover up your tattoos at a job interview, but no longer. Research by the Miami Business School finds that job seekers actually have a little bit better chance getting hired now if an interviewer spots some ink on them. The reason is the body art now very fashionable. Study also found that wages and annual earnings of tattooed employees were statistically indistinguishable from those without them. Finally, interesting new product that's kind of taking off online, and it's for those that wear glasses. If you have glasses, you're going to know what we're talking about here. It's a pillow so you don't smash your glasses when you lie down. If you've ever tried to do that with glasses, you know you can really bend them and mess them up. This is called the Lacy Pillow. Contoured edges allow you to lay your head perfectly while wearing your spectacles. It's not cheap, though. Sells for $79. In the 680 newsroom, Richard Southern, City News.